They sold the world a family, the Beckham dynasty. Then Brooklyn Beckham vanished from it.
What was once sold to the public as a modern fairy tale, the famous football dynasty meets the American billionaire heiress, has now exploded into one of the most personal, emotionally charged celebrity family feuds in years.
One party, one romance, one wedding, and suddenly the son was accusing his parents of sabotage.
Brooklyn Beckham is erasing his dad, David. He just started laser treatment to remove his dad tattoo after a brutal family fallout. A permanent fracture.
In The Shocking Truth About What Changed Brooklyn Beckham After He Met Nicola Peltz, we uncover the allegation that ignited an international media firestorm.
Brooklyn accused David and Victoria of valuing endorsements and public image above their own children, stating explicitly that brand Beckham comes first.
With a combined 20 million followers across social platforms, Brooklyn and Nicola have built an audience that watches their every move. The Brooklyn Beckham that existed before Nicola Peltz entered his life looked completely different. Cameras caught him constantly alongside his parents and siblings at fashion shows, football matches, family gatherings. The public image was clear: devoted son, proud Beckham, always there.
David?
He wasn't a stranger to the spotlight. Dating history included Chloe Grace Moritz through multiple on-again, off-again cycles, model Hannah Cross, and several others. But one pattern held true. His family remained central. Victoria and David were fixtures at events. Family photos flooded social media. The bond appeared unshakable. Brooklyn tried his hand at photography, strutted down runways as a model, and attempted cooking ventures. Critics questioned his talent. Some called him entitled, yet his parents stood by him publicly, defending their eldest son through every failed venture and online attack. Victoria and David continue to receive overwhelming support in the comments. These people need real problems. Rich people problems. The narrative was consistent. Brooklyn was a Beckham, and Beckhams stuck together until they didn't. Don't go anywhere, because the next chapter reveals the values Brooklyn was raised under. And once you hear them, you'll understand why what came next was so explosive. Understanding what came next requires understanding where the Beckhams came from. David Beckham grew up in East London, son of a kitchen fitter and a hairdresser. Victoria Adams grew up in Hertfordshire, her family eventually finding success, but starting from working-class roots. Both parents have spoken extensively about their commitment to raising grounded children despite extraordinary wealth. Work ethic, discipline, independence.
But most importantly, I'm very organized. I wake my daughter up, I take her to school, I come back, I work out, and then I'm in the office.
These weren't just words. According to multiple interviews over the years, David and Victoria emphasized that their children wouldn't simply coast on the family name.
Brooklyn, he doesn't work in a cinema, and he's got a job in a coffee shop in London, right?
A small French cafe in London. You know what kids are like. They want new sneakers, they want new soccer boots.
Brooklyn was reportedly expected to earn his own way, develop his own identity, and work for what he wanted.
Motivation comes from inside, and I stay motivated to set the right example for my kids.
Pre-Nicola Brooklyn reflected this upbringing in interviews. He spoke about learning from his parents, respecting their guidance, appreciating the opportunities, but understanding the responsibility that came with the Beckham name.
My dad was so tough on me as a young kid. He very rarely turned around to me and said, "Well done, boy. You did well today. You played well."
And the comments online suggest that Nicola hasn't been warmly received. Daughter-in-laws can be horrible. He will return to his family when the time comes. This foundation makes the rupture that followed all the more shocking. What could possibly fracture a bond built on decades of family unity and shared values? Keep watching, because the next chapter is where Nicola enters the story. And from that moment on, the timeline starts moving frighteningly fast. October 2019, Leonardo DiCaprio's Halloween party. Brooklyn Beckham and Nicola Peltz were photographed leaving together. Nicola wasn't some unknown. The actress had starred in Transformers: Age of Extinction and the series Bates Motel. More significantly, she was the daughter of billionaire investor Nicola Peltz, whose fortune dwarfed even the Beckham empire.
Her father, Nelson Peltz, is a billionaire on the Forbes list and even owns Madison Square Garden in the heart of New York City. The only hardship Nicola has likely faced is a makeup mirror she's used for 19 years.
The relationship moved fast, startlingly fast. By January 2020, they became Instagram official. By July 2020, just 8 months in, they were engaged. Media outlets began noting changes. Brooklyn spent increasing time in America. Family appearances became less frequent. His focus seemed to shift from London to Los Angeles, from Beckham gatherings to Peltz family events. After moving to the USA, Brooklyn spent a lot of time building a career around food. At this stage, nobody was calling it a rift. The term being used was distance, geographical, lifestyle, priorities. But those watching closely saw something shifting beneath the surface. Brooklyn appears to have drawn far less sympathy from commenters, with many questioning his position and future within the family dynamic. This Brooklyn is going to be up shit creek if Peltz ever dumps him. I believe that she's controlling and separating him from his parents, which is not a good sign. And then came the wedding that would bring private tension into devastating public view. Stay with me, because the next chapter is the wedding. And one decision that day reportedly changed everything. April 9th, 2022. Palm Beach, Florida, the Peltz family estate. Brooklyn and Nicola's wedding was lavish. Nearly 600 guests, Serena and Venus Williams, Eva Longoria, Mark Anthony performing, a Jewish ceremony honoring Nicola's heritage. Everything appeared perfect.
Ever wondered what a $4 million wedding looks like? Let's break it down. On April 9th, 2022, Brooklyn Beckham and Nicola Peltz tied the knot at the Peltz family's Palm Beach estate worth a cool $100 million.
Except for the dress. Nicola walked down the aisle in Valentino couture, not Victoria Beckham. The fashion world took notice immediately. Victoria's own daughter-in-law hadn't worn her label.
Nicola ended up wearing a Valentino dress, and some accused her of snubbing Victoria.
Months later, Nicola addressed the controversy in a Variety interview. She explained that she had wanted to wear Victoria's design, but Victoria's atelier allegedly couldn't complete it in time, forcing Nicola to find an alternative. She framed it as disappointing but not intentionally hostile. The media framed it differently. Headlines suggested tension. Speculation about mother-in-law-daughter-in-law conflict exploded. Some outlets claimed this was merely symbolic of deeper issues already brewing. These issues had been present for years before the wedding drama.
Since 2022, rumors have swirled that David and Victoria Beckham have been locked in a bitter feud with their eldest son Brooklyn and his billionaire heiress wife Nicola Peltz.
Then came January 2026, when Brooklyn finally spoke his truth through explosive Instagram statements. He alleged his mother canceled the dress at the 11th hour, despite Nicola's excitement. He claimed Victoria hijacked his first dance with Nicola, that Mark Anthony called him to the stage where Victoria allegedly danced inappropriately on him in front of 500 wedding guests, leaving him humiliated. Nicola has also attracted a growing amount of positive feedback and encouragement in the comment sections. Maybe you are right. Come on, guys, Victoria is crazy. This girl saved his life. The wedding wasn't just the beginning, it was reportedly the breaking point. Keep watching, because the next chapter is where the internet rewrites this story. And the narrative that takes over is impossible to ignore. Social media erupted with speculation. The narrative that emerged was pointed. Observers suggested Nicola possessed strong influence over Brooklyn, that his decision-making appeared fundamentally altered. That family relationship seemed deliberately deprioritized.
This footage of Brooklyn and Nicola Peltz Beckham next to his mom Victoria at the October UK premiere of her Netflix series Beckham is going viral.
Critics argued Brooklyn's transformation was too dramatic, too complete to be coincidental. Before Nicola, he was photographed constantly with his family.
Who cried more at your wedding, you or Nicola?
Me. I'm a crier. I'm a big crier. I'm a Pisces, so I heard Pisces are like sensitive and they cry a lot, and that is literally me. You're not a real man unless you cry.
After marriage, those appearances diminished sharply. Before Nicola, He spoke glowingly about his parents in interviews. After marriage, according to his January 2026 statement, he accused them of controlling him his entire life.
Brooklyn Beckham has delivered the ultimate blow in the war against his family by raising his tattoo tribute to his dad, David. It comes 2 weeks after his bombshell 821-word statement where he said he did not want to reconcile with his famous clan. Brooklyn had Dad tattooed inside an anchor on his arm, but he has now covered it with nondescript shapes. He also appears to be erasing a 1975 tattoo, which he had in tribute to David's date of birth. Insiders told The Sun Brooklyn's decision to erase the tattoos would be a crushing blow to his parents. The move is the latest in the saga between Brooklyn and his family, who are said to be deeply upset by the rift.
Some commentators believe the speed of the engagement, the geographical shift to America, the visible distancing from his siblings all point to a pattern. Others suggested Brooklyn's failed career ventures from photography to cooking made him vulnerable to someone offering a different path. The comment sections online have become increasingly heated and unpredictable. Victoria is making a fool of herself over her son. Did she make him vow not to contact his parents again? The Peltz family wealth provided something the Beckhams couldn't: complete financial independence from his parents. No need to rely on brand Beckham. No need to play by their rules. Whether this represented freedom or something else became the subject of heated online debate. Don't click away, because the next chapter introduces a comparison that shocked people worldwide. And once you hear it, this story takes on a whole new meaning. Media outlets and online commentators drew unavoidable parallels. Brooklyn and Nicola, Harry and Meghan. The similarities felt almost scripted. It was also reported that the two couples had started spending time together.
Meghan Markle and Prince Harry hosted Brooklyn Beckham and Nicola Peltz at their Montecito home for an intimate dinner with VIPs and film executives.
Both situations involved a son from a powerful, famous British family. Both married American women. Both relationships were followed by alleged family rifts and public estrangement. Both men accused their families of media manipulation and controlling behavior. Both couples relocated to California and formed new lives separate from their family dynasties. The language Brooklyn used in his January 2026 Instagram statement echoed Harry's words almost exactly. Harry spoke about being trapped, about breaking free, about his family controlling narratives. Brooklyn alleged he'd been controlled his entire life, that brand Beckham always came first, that his parents manipulated press coverage.
Brooklyn publicly accused him and his wife Victoria of trying endlessly to ruin his marriage and putting brand Beckham above his happiness.
Some reports suggest Brooklyn and Nicola have grown close to Harry and Meghan, allegedly attending dinners at their Montecito home. Media outlets questioned whether Harry and Meghan's approach influenced Brooklyn's decision to speak out publicly. It was almost inevitable that comparisons to Harry and Meghan would spark a wave of animated reactions from commenters. Harry and Meghan in training, Brooklyn in the art of living doing nothing. Screams Meghan Markle. She gives the same vibe. The comparison isn't accusatory, it's pattern-based. History, as they say, doesn't repeat, but it certainly rhymes. Stay right here, because the next chapter is where Brooklyn responds himself. And what he says next draws a line that stuns everyone. Brooklyn's January 2026 statement was unequivocal. He wrote that the narrative claiming his wife controls him is completely backwards. He alleged he'd been controlled by his parents for most of his life. He claimed his overwhelming anxiety disappeared only after stepping away from his family and moving away from the relentless paparazzi in England.
I do know that there were paparazzi pretty much every day, and somebody would have been organizing that who knew his schedule inside out.
He stated clearly that he does not want reconciliation. No interest in mending fences. No desire to return to the family fold. This distinguishes him from Prince Harry, who has repeatedly expressed hope for eventual reconciliation with the royal family. Alternative explanations exist. Marriage naturally shifts priorities. Adults establish boundaries with parents as they build their own families. Geographic distance between London and Los Angeles makes regular family gatherings difficult. Different lifestyles and values can create organic separation without anyone being at fault. Brooklyn is 26. Nicola is 30. They renewed their vows a short time after their original wedding, many questioning as to why. None of the Beckhams were present, allegedly to create new memories that bring joy rather than anxiety.
Nicola and Brooklyn Peltz Beckham, bride and groom once again.
Many commenters are pointing out that Brooklyn appears to be the only one struggling with his family relationships, while the other children seem to maintain close, healthy bonds with their parents. Interesting, not one of his family's present. Who are they trying to convince? Defenders argue this isn't control, this is a choice, this is adulthood. Critics remain unconvinced. Keep watching, because the final chapter lays out what's undeniable. And the last detail makes it clear this story is far from finished. The facts are undeniable, even if the interpretation remains contested. Brooklyn Beckham, before Nicola Peltz, appeared deeply embedded in his family. Public appearances were frequent. Relationships seemed strong. The Beckham brand included him prominently. Brooklyn Beckham, after marrying Nicola Peltz, became visibly distant. Family gatherings happened without him. His siblings reportedly sided with their parents. He skipped his father's 50th birthday party entirely. Christmas 2025 was spent with the Peltz family, not the Beckhams. His January 2026 statement burned bridges that seem impossible to rebuild. Did Nicola influence these changes? Brooklyn says no. He claims he's finally standing up for himself. Online observers suggest the transformation was too dramatic to be entirely self-directed. The truth likely contains elements of both perspectives. What remains clear is that the Brooklyn Beckham the public sees today is fundamentally different from the one they knew before that October 2019 Halloween party. Some commenters have taken a harsher view, suggesting that Brooklyn's behavior comes across as immature and that he has yet to firmly establish himself independently. Brooklyn is not their baby boy, he's a grown man. So what exactly has this boy accomplished? The Beckham family built an empire on unity. That empire now has a visible crack running straight through its foundation. And unlike a football match or fashion campaign, this isn't something brand Beckham can control. Brooklyn didn't just fall out with his family, he allegedly walked away from the entire Beckham machine. And what happens next could change how you see them forever. Don't miss the next episode in our Brooklyn Beckham versus the Beckham family series, where we unpack the latest fallout and the new sides being taken. Please subscribe before you go.